You know, I go to therapy every week, you know, and I see a psychiatrist. I take Prozac for the anxiety, and I take medication to keep me from dreaming because the nightmares just got too bad. I would love to dream again. I would love to dream again.
The problem is growing.
A transgender woman is shot and killed.
She was shot and killed.
A transgender woman brutally attacked in Texas.
Shot in the neck in West Philadelphia.
One of the deadliest epidemics in the U.S. is violence against Black transgender people. The Human Rights Campaign says at least 44 trans or gender nonconforming people were murdered in 2020, making it the deadliest year on record. At least 47% of the victims were Black women. In 2019, 91% were Black women. And that's just who we know of. Many victims go unreported, while others are misgendered.
It costs nothing to call me Ariel, to use she, her pronouns, to call my sister Raya.
Because of the transphobia they continue to face, Black trans women are at a higher risk for suicide, homelessness, and mental health issues. And there aren't enough trans-competent mental health services. The lack of services means they're still being forced to take their safety and mental health into their own hands.
I was passing this out. This person here, he murdered my girlfriend.
He the one that did that?
So if you see this person, please call in. It's a $25,000 reward.
All right, I will.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Every weekend, Kendall Stevens hangs wanted posters around Philadelphia. She's determined to get justice for her friend, Dominique Remy Fells, whose body was found dismembered in June.
There's so many unsolved mysteries in the trans community when we're murdered and attacked. And that plays on your mental health too, because you know that if something happens to you, there's gonna be no justice. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, sleeting, hailing, I will be right out here because he's out there.
Police announced Akhenaten Jones as a suspect shortly after her murder, but he's been at large for 3 months.
And that house right there is where 3 of my girlfriends met him. And he didn't hurt them, but this is why I'm in this neighborhood, because he has showed his face in this neighborhood. And if somebody ever murders me, I hope they do the same thing for me. I really do. This is where a lot of the girls who are trans have to go to engage in survival sex work or be able to sleep for a few hours in between. It still looks the same. Oh my goodness. I remember being in this hotel a couple times. I had no choice. You know, this place is actually triggering me right now. Like I'm like shaking. I'm shaking.
Stevens also thought she was going to die in a transphobic crime. On August 24th, a group of people entered her home and assaulted her, calling her transphobic slurs in front of her goddaughters. She suffered bruised ribs, a concussion, a broken nose, and other injuries. One of the first calls Kendall made after the attack was to Lorraine Boone, who drove to the hospital to see her at 4 in the morning.
I was standing right there, picked her up and took her home. I was like, oh my God, these people did what?
Kendall calls Boone Aunt Lorraine because their bond over the past 5 years has become so tight, they consider each other family.
I've always felt the full impact of the pain and the hurt and the suffering because I never resorted to drugs. So when I got assaulted, I felt the assault. When I got beat, I felt the beating. When I was left out there in the cold, sleeping on park benches, sleeping in tents, sleeping on the floor, sleeping on grates downtown, sleeping in dumpsters.
I wish I knew you back then.
I don't know.
We would have fallen into one of the warm beds upstairs, boo.
From day one, this woman has accepted me no judgment, no ridicule. And that's why chosen family is so important, because you're choosing someone that is validating you.
And day one, me and her mother, her natural mom, went to church together, and she had no acceptance for her child. She said, you have to make a choice. Either it's gonna be me or her. I said, well, the choice has already been made.
Good evening. Welcome to Transway. It's a little bit more challenging now that we're doing it via Zoom.
Kendall helps run Transway, a weekly support group for trans and gender nonconforming people to talk about their experiences.
When you're going through your gender journey, when you're young, and there's no one to tell you how to do it, and you find ways along the way to just affirm yourself. Like, I remember being 10 years old, and I found me a makeup hack that I can get away with. Pistachio seeds, the red ones. Great lipstick.
Meetups like these are ways trans people can take care of themselves as an alternative to healthcare systems that have failed to serve them.
I cannot tell you how many times I see people of the trans experience who go see a mental health provider and they feel like they are teaching the provider about their experience.
Dr. Hansel Arroyo is a New York City-based psychiatrist. He started a fellowship program to train medical professionals on how to give trans competent care, the first of its kind in his field.
One of the first steps to have equal access to trans folk, to people of color, is to have providers be educated, right? To be able to have part of the medical school residency and training curriculum, transgender medicine has to be integrated into it at all levels.
Finding a Black trans therapist is a hardship on its own. More than 84% of therapists in the United States are white. Just 4% are Black. There aren't any reputable studies in the US that count trans mental health professionals.
Black trans people are extremely resilient, and community building is one of the factors that improves resilience. So when you see marches and you see people coming together and voicing a want for change, that actually helps.
How you doing, baby?
Where you want this at?
Oh, we went upstairs in the back room.
Look, more exercise.
Wait, there might be the boondocks. Chore one. So, I got these.
Everybody got their own personal
Yeah.
one. They don't got burn their fingers.
Right, that. And then we worry about like trying to share them so much.
Right.
And, ooh, y'all.
Oh, I love it.
Look at the quality though. Get into the quality of that.
That's how my writing look. This I got the same writing on the cups.
Here we go. Sky lantern.
Oh, upside down.
Shooting star.
I never lit one before. This will be my first time.
Yeah, like I want to light one and see how it look.
Is that supposed to be falling?
Okay.
Move that, move that.
Here we go.
Oh, don't get the car. Oh, don't get the White House.
It's going up.
What?
Oh, snaps. That's like my Remy. I swear. She's a piece of work.
It don't look like a star.
It do, don't it?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, there's 33 people. But we're gonna add some more people too, because I wanna include those who are trans that died of suicide. And
yeah.
From like drug overdoses and from mysterious circumstances.
Because either way, that still got something to do with...
It really does.
Because that's the reason why they did that, because of being bullied.
Being bullied, transphobia, you know how that go. It's indirect. It's
It
not
either
like,
go to suicide or drugs.
right, because sometimes it's not so much a shotgun, it's like slow poison.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be decent. Like
I can't wait.
I cannot wait. I'm so hyped right now. Welcome to Philadelphia's Transgender Day of Remembrance.
A big part of coming together is paying tribute to those who've died. Kendall helped organize the Trans Day of Remembrance, which was created in memory of Rita Hester, a Black trans woman who in 1998 was stabbed to death and then misgendered in news coverage. This year's event was special though.
Okay, first name is Dustin Parker. Dustin Parker was 25, was fatally shot in Oklahoma early on New Year's Day. Tony McDade. Now we all know this person. Dominique Remy Fells. She was a friend of mine. She was a mentee taken away from us too soon. I was happy to have been able to raise $25,000 to find the suspect in her murder. And he was found. They found the bastard.
Police say Akhenaten Jones was arrested.
A few weeks before the event, police found Jones in Los Angeles, where he's currently waiting to be extradited to Philadelphia and face murder charges.
I'm gonna pay for what he did to my girlfriend.
We shouldn't have to dig into our resilience. We shouldn't even have to worry about that because we should be treated equally from the beginning. We're asking people to be human. How do you teach someone to be human? I have not figured that out.
Ideally, it would be wonderful to have other individuals who are, like myself, Black, trans, competent, knowledgeable, and able to provide services more and more to individuals who are in need.
Dr. Castro-Converse is a licensed psychologist with 20 years of experience.
A Black trans woman who is growing up and kind of going against the norm most likely will be bullied. I think that over time is almost like emotional calluses that allow the person to deal with a lot of the unkindness that can be experienced. And along with that, there are people and situations that are kind, that are supportive, that are helpful, and along with that, build that resilience.
It's personal for Dr. Castro-Converse. She's known Kendall and has served on advisory boards and panels with her.
Violence against trans Black women, when I've watched it in the news in the past, it's been about others until it happened to Kendall, who I happen to know. And then it was gut-wrenching. It was heartbreaking. And beyond the heartbreak, it made me realize that it could have been me. And it can be me. That's the thing that I can't ever forget. And I can't ever forget until we live in a society where Black women are treated as women and that we are granted the rights and the protection as any other human being. So do the lives of Black trans women really matter when we're being killed, when we're being murdered? Who is marching for us?